بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم افتح لنا بالخير واختم لنا بالخير واجعل عواقب أمورنا بالخير بيدك الخير والعافية إنك على كل شيء قدير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So last week we discussed the different types of najasa, and we mentioned that najasa is of three types. Anyone can remind me of the different types of najasa? The names of it? We said we get najasa mughallada. The other one is? Anyone? So it's a najasa mughallada is the extreme najasa, extreme impurity. And we said that the extreme impurity is what? Anything that comes from a dog or a pig. The saliva touching the dog. And then we mentioned that there's a different way of cleaning this. We said you have to wash it how many times? 7 times. إحداهن بالتراب. At least one of the 7 needs to be washed with sand. And then we said we have another type of najasa which is called najasa. Anyone? Mukhaffafa. We said najasa mukhaffafa is the bowl, the urine of a baby boy younger than the age of 2, and he must only be breastfed by the mother. And we said, how do we clean this? You sprinkle water over it until the whole area is covered with water. You don't have to wash it. We just sprinkle the water over the area, but the condition is the whole area should be covered with water. And then we said the third type, it is najasa. Anyone? Najasa tawassita. Anything besides najasa mughallada, najasa mukhaffafa will be najasa mutawassita. And then we said najasa mutawassita is then categorized also into 2. The name is Ainiya and anyone? Hukmiya. We said Ainiya is we can see that the najasa is there, we can smell the najasa is there. And how do we clean this? We need to wash it until the stain or the smell is gone. And then we said najasa hukmiya is we cannot see it, we cannot touch it, but we know there is najasa on it. Am I right? And then we mentioned that how do we clean this type of najasa is you just have to wash it once. You don't have to worry about the stains being on the clothes. And then inshallah tonight we will start with Kitabul Hayd, the chapter of Hayd. But before we start inshallah, it should be known that a female, they experience 3 types of blood. How many types? 3 types. Namely, Hayd, Nifas, and Istihada. These 3 types. I'll repeat it again. Hayd, Nifas, and Istihada. So what is Hayd? Hayd is the monthly menstruation that the female gets. So this blood is a type of blood that indicates that the female is healthy. And that normally comes on a monthly basis. When a female experiences hayd, it is not permissible for her to make salah, It is not permissible for her to read Quran, touching the Quran. It is not permissible for her to fast. And then we said nifas is that blood that comes after birth. Not before birth. It must be after birth. After the janeen comes out. Khair? And then we have the middle one, which is istihada. We call this also damun fasidun, a chronicle type of blood. This blood is to show that there's something wrong with the female. Some sickness. And when a female experiences istihada, then the ruling differs. So nifas and hayd, the ruling will be the same. Am I right? No salah, no fast. I think we did this in one chapter. But when it comes to istihada, the ruling will be different. The female will have to fast. She will have to make salah. Are you with me? But the salah will be different. For every salah, she will make wudu. And then she will put a clean pad in. Are you with me? So this is the three types of blood that the female experiences. So now we go to the book. So the Musannif, he mostly mention only the time frames of when a female experiences hayd, when she experiences nifas, when she experiences istihada. This is the time frame that the Musannif is mentioning. Normally a female, she gets her hayd at the age of anyone? 9 or 10 or 12, what's the age? At the age of? No. It depends, but when can she start getting hayd? At the age of 9. Not tahdidiyan, but taqribiyan. Meaning if she's close to the age of 9, by 16 days, then she can still get a hayd. Right? See? But anything before that will not be considered to be hayd, it will be something else. Okay? So let's see what the Musannif is saying in the book. أقل الحيض يوم وليلة. The minimum menstrual period is a day and a night. The minimum that the female can get is, when they say day and night, it can be at night or day at night. It doesn't have to be in the sequence. Are you with me? But the whole period needs to be 24 hours. So sometimes you can get a hayd at night, and then she has to count from that time she gets a hayd a whole 24 hours. So it must be day and night. It does not mean that the day must come first and then the night. Nope. It can be night and day. But what is considered here, it must be 24 hours. Okay? So for example, a female, she sees the blood and it's 23 hours. Will this be considered to be hayd? Nope. This will be considered to be istihada. With me? So all the salah, so for example, let's make a scenario. She sees the blood and it starts bleeding for 20 hours. Because she saw the blood, she did not make salah. With me? She's thinking that this is hayd. But now after 20 hours, the blood stops. And then the next day, no blood. Then that period, the 20 hours that she saw blood, will not be hayd, it will be istihada. She will have to make qada of her salah. Is it clear? She have to make qada of her salah. Okay? Normally, when she have hayd, we don't request her to make qada of salah. We only request her to make qada of fasting. Excellent. We only request her to make qada of fasting. But as for salah, we don't request her to make salah. But now she only sees the blood for 20 hours or 21 hours or 23 hours, but not 24 hours. Then, that's why I say this hayd, the masala of hayd is a very tricky masala. What she have to do is, she will have to repeat all the salah that she missed, or she have to make qada of that salah which she missed. Okay? However, so it must be, what's the minimum? 24 hours. This is when the blood keeps on coming. I'm not meaning on flowing, but when the blood keeps on coming, meaning if she insert a piece of cotton into the area where the blood comes out, and she removes it, and it's stained with blood. Are you with me? For 24 hours you have to do that. Are you with me? But normally, alhamdulillah, we have the period, the pad, where she can see, or she uses a toilet paper where she can see if there's any blood. Okay. Other scenario is, second one, if the blood comes, which is irregular, the blood comes, but then it stops for a few hours. For example, on Monday she starts bleeding for 4 hours. And then she looks and there's no blood. Then Tuesday, she saw again 4 hours. Are you with me? But in that whole day, there wasn't 24 hours. Am I right? But the next day, it went over to another 4 hours. So this is now 8 hours. And then it stops again. In the third day, she sees again blood for 4 hours. So how many hours is that? 12 hours. Are you with me? So every day, there's a time that she sees blood and she don't see blood. Are you with me? So as long as she sees blood, in a period of 15 days, then that will be considered to be hayd. Clear? Is that clear? Our males might not. we won't relate to this, but our females can relate to this. So I'll explain the masala again. 24 hours. She sees blood on the first day, on the Monday, for 4 hours. And then it disappears. You put the cotton in, there's no blood. Now normally what comes to mind is, no, this is the hawda. Am I right? No. Now the next day, the same time, she puts in cotton and she sees again. And she do it for 4 hours, another 4 hours. Another 4 hours, another 4 hours, another 4 hours. Are you with me? But it must be in that 15 days, because the maximum days for hayd is how many days? 15. It must be in the 15 days, and it must be more than 24 hours of bleeding in that 15 days. If it spots. If it comes, stop, come, stop, come, stop. It must be 24 hours accumulated with all the time. So 4, 4, 4, 4. It is 24 hours, and it's more than 24 hours. In that period of 15 days, this will be considered to be hayd. Clear? Now let's turn it around. In that 15 days, she sees blood, 2 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, in that 15 days. But the blood that she sees does not accumulate to 24 hours. Is this hayd? No, it is istihada. So can you see there? The first one is the blood comes out 24 hours, not flowing, but it's always there. But then we have another case where it spots. 4 hours in this day, then it's clean. And another 4 hours the next day. It must be in the 15 days, but accumulating, counting all the time that you see the blood, it must be 24 hours. Is it clear? Alhamdulillah. Clear? Any question on that? Any females questions? Is it clear? The masala is clear, right? Khair, inshallah. So that's the minimum time for hayd. وَغَالِبُهُ سِتٌّ أَوْ سَبْعٌ. And the generally it lasts for 6 to 7 days. Generally, the hayd of a female lasts how many days? 6 to 7 days. And the maximum period is 15 days and nights. So if a female sees her blood for more than 15 days, example, she sees it for 16 days, will this be considered to be hayd or istihada? Anyone? Say again? So you will count the 15 as to be hayd, and then the other one will be istihada. That's what we will think now. No. Will be all istihada. Okay? Will be all istihada. Yes. So 15 days mean it needs to bleed, the blood needs to be there for 15 days. If it's more than 15 days, then that 15 days included will not be hayd, but it will be considered to be istihada. Clear? Is it clear? ما في مشكل؟ خير. So the maximum period for hayd, inshallah, is, alhamdulillah, we as males, we don't have to worry about this, inshallah. I'm just mentioning the masail. We are free from that, inshallah. It is a mushkila for the females. Inshallah. But we need to know also to guide our females, to assist them, inshallah, to know also the masail. But the maximum period for hayd is 15 days. If she starts bleeding after 15 days, then it will be considered to be istihada, not hayd. Okay? Inshallah. And we know certain things cannot be done in this time of hayd. For males also, we need to stay away from ma bayna surrati wa rukba. We cannot enjoy except that which is above the navel and the knees, meaning above the navel and below the knees. Khair, inshallah. And the أقل الطهر بين الحيضتين, and the minimum interval of clean period, the minimum interval between the two hayds must be 15 days. Must be 15 days. That's the minimum. And generally it lasts for 23 to 24 days, where female is clean between these two periods. Are you with me? And the maximum, there is no limit to it. Sometimes a female can only have menstruation once in her life. Or some females don't have menstruation. In the book that I've read, they said, like who? Anyone can Fatima to Zahra. It is mentioned she never experienced hayd or nifas, and she never missed the salah. And that's why she was called a Zahra, because of this. Okay? So sometimes a female can have once in her life hayd, and then she can be clean forever. Are you with me? So that's why they say there's no had, there is no maximum period for a female to be clean from hayd. Then we go to the last one, is aqallun nifas. The minimum postnatal bleeding is a single discharge of blood. It is a single drop of discharge of blood. So if a female gives birth and then only small or 1 minute or 1 second she bleeds. Are you with me? This is the minimum. Generally it lasts for 40 days, and the maximum period, it is 60 days. So minimum, daf'atan or majjatan, 1 second. Ghaliban, generally, it is 40 days. And the maximum period for a female to experience nifas is 60 days. If she bleeds for 61 days, then what will it be? So, heard me. So, however, if a female if she gave birth, and she does not bleed or does not get any nifas for a period of 15 days, and then she starts bleeding after the 15 days, that will be considered to be hayd. Okay? Inshallah. And then that will be the end of our Kitab al-Hayd. Female, she, for example, a female, she does not bleed, no blood. She gave birth, no blood. And then she starts bleeding after 15, 16 days. What will that blood be? Nifas? Or will it be hayd? It will be hayd, inshallah. Because the minimum period of being clean is how many days? How many days? The minimum of being clean from hayd is how many days? 15 days. And based on that, that's why it will be hayd, inshallah. I think we stick to the time frame of hayd, inshallah, because the masala can be complicated. It is very complicated. So, at least we know, inshallah, my vrouw kan net 15 dae haar menstruation het. Are you with me? Only 15 days. If you say, no, I still have my menstruation after 16 days, then you know it is not hayd, it is istihada. Khair? Okay, khair. Now, we will start with a new... Is there any questions from the female side? If they have, inshallah, they can maybe send a message, inshallah, then we will look at it, inshallah. Now we go to a new chapter which is called Kitab al-Salah. But before we go into Kitab al-Salah, I would like to explain, just to simplify the whole chapter of Kitab al-Salah. With regards to Salah, there's 4 things we need to know. How many things? 4 things. You get shuroot of Salah, the prerequisites of Salah. Are you with me? You get the arkan of Salah, the integral parts of Salah. You get emphasized sunnahs of Salah. We name them sunnah ab'ad. Are you with me? And then you get normal sunnahs of Salah, which is not emphasized. We call this sunnah hayat. Is it clear? Again, we have shurut. We call this prerequisites. And I'm going to give you another type of taqseem. Prerequisites can be divided into 2 categories. Prerequisites, which make Salah compulsory upon a person, and prerequisites, which make Salah valid. That's 2. Min haythul hujub, in Arabic we call this min haythul hujub, which make it compulsory upon a person. I'll give you an example. If I'm baligh and aqil and Muslim, aqil and baligh is a prerequisite that makes Salah compulsory upon me. Are you with me? It makes it compulsory. And then we get a prerequisite, or a prerequisite that makes Salah valid, which is the time of Salah must be in. I'll just give you an example. Are you with me? Do we understand the different categories? So prerequisite that makes Salah compulsory upon the individual, we will do this inshallah in detail. Then you get prerequisite that make Salah valid. Are you with me? And this is like the entering of the time of Salah, facing the Qibla. A person must be clean, his body, everything. These are prerequisites that make Salah valid. Are you with me? But then you get prerequisite that makes Salah compulsory. Like what? A person is aqil, is baligh, is mukallaf, he is a Muslim, or he is sound-minded. For example, a person who's majnoon, Salah does not become compulsory upon him. In the same way, salamatul hawas, a person who's not dumb and deaf and blind. If you know a person who's born deaf and blind, Salah is not compulsory upon him. I'm not saying that only deaf. It must be combined. Deaf and blind. Why? He doesn't have the ability to learn. He must be born in that condition. But if in later stage become deaf and blind, then it's different category. This is different way. But if he's born in that condition, hoe gaat jy so 'n persoon leer om te salat te maak? Hy is deaf and he's blind. You can't show him how to make salah. You can't tell him how to make salah. So salah is not compulsory upon an individual. Okay? So this is prerequisites that make salah compulsory. And then you get prerequisites that make salah valid. And then we said arkan, which is rukn. We call this also fara'id. Arkan, rukn, fara'id, it's different names given to it, different books mention different names. It's the same thing. It's called integral parts of salah. It must be in salah. Certain books mention 17, certain books mention 13. I'll tell you what's the difference. There's no difference, it's just a different way of giving it over. Are you with me? So these things must be done. So shurut, prerequisites, and arkan is exactly the same, but there's two differences. Your salah cannot be correct without shurut, and your salah cannot be correct without arkan. The difference between shurut and arkan is shurut is done before salah. Are you with me? And arkan is done during you make salah. Do you understand the difference? I'll make an example. Surah Al-Fatiha is a rukn of salah. When do you make Surah Al-Fatiha? Before salah? In salah. Shurut, to make wudu, is a shart, to be clean. Are you with me? Do you make wudu in salah or before salah? Before salah. Do you understand the difference between shurut and rukn? It's clarified, it's clear, man. Now we go to sunnah ab'ad and sunnah hayat. Remember, if we leave out a shart, a shurut, or rukn of salah, our salah is invalid. It cannot be correct. Khair? Our salah is incorrect. Now we have emphasized sunnah. What we have? An emphasized sunnah, and then we call this also terms in Arabic, sunnah mu'akkadatun and sunnah ghayr mu'akkadatun. Sunnah ghayr mu'akkadatin. Another term which they use in salah, we say sunnah that's emphasized is called ab'ad, and sunnah that's not emphasized is called hayat. Both is sunnah. If you miss both, your salah will still be correct. However, one sunnah is more stronger than the other. And to make up for that sunnah that you miss out, which is emphasized, we have something in place called sujudus sahwi. Do you understand? However, if I'm making salah and I miss sujudus sahwi, is my salah correct? My salah is correct because this is only a sunnah that's emphasized. It's not a rukn, it's not a compulsory action in salah, an integral action, part of salah. Is it clear? So I'll just mention again, inshallah. So this is basically salah in a nutshell. Okay? Basically salah in a nutshell. 4 things. Shurut, you need to do it for your salah to be correct, and this is done before salah. There is another condition that they put But it's a bit on a different level, but I'll discuss it again inshallah in the future, but not for now. And then we have rukn. Rukn is also you must do it. Your salah is not correct without it. However, rukn is done in salah. So shurut must be done, rukn must be done. The difference between the two is one out of salah, before salah, one in salah. And then we have sunnah ab'ad and sunnah ya'at. Okay? Clear. Now we go again to rukn. Rukn again, now for these categories, I'm just trying to give you a whole nice nutshell of the whole salah. Then rukn is again divided into 4 categories. Rukn qawliyah, rukn fi'liyah, rukn qalbiyah, rukn ma'nawiyah. If you can get it, inshallah, I'll say it again slow. Rukn fi'liyah, a physical rukn. A physical rukn. And this is like what? Ruku, sujood. You need to do this rukn, physical actions. Are you with me? Rukn fi'liyah. Then you get rukn qawliyah. A rukn which is a verbal rukn. Like what? Suratul Fatiha. And then we have a rukn which is qalbiyah. A rukn that's to do with your heart. Anyone can tell me this rukn? The niyyah. And then we have rukn ma'nawiyah. It is a ma'nawiyah. The literal translation of this means that it is a rukn that you cannot say it, you do not do it, but it's just there. Are you with me? In meaning it's a rukn. And this is tartib. You with me? Rukn ma'nawiyah is tartib. Everything in sequence. Is it clear? Khair? Very clear, alhamdulillah. So again, I'll tell you why my dividing this is, sometimes you can be behind an imam with a rukn fi'liyah or a rukn qawliyah, a verbal rukn or a physical rukn. It depends on what rukn are you behind an imam. If it's 2 or 1, then if you are far behind the imam with one of these physical rukn or a verbal rukn, then your salah can be invalid. But we will come to that inshallah. That's why I'm breaking it up into these different categories. Khair? That's basically what salah is in a nutshell, inshallah. So now we go on with our book. Everyone have that? Any questions on that? Is it clear? Any questions on that? Khair. Now our book says, A'dharu salati. The Musannif mentions the valid excuses that for delaying the salah from its prescribed time are 2. There are 2 reasons or valid reasons for a person to delay salah, not to leave out salah. Remember, leaving out salah is not an option. If a person leave out salah, denying that salah is fard, he will be killed and he will be a murtad. If a person leave out salah out of laziness, and we ask him to make tawbah, and we ask him to make salah, and we ask all these things for him to do, and he still does not do it, and the imam says we can kill him, he will be killed, but he will still be a Muslim. Okay? But so what we're discussing here is a reason for you to delay salah out of his prescribed time. Remember that each salah have a prescribed time, am I right? For example, Dhuhr salah is made from, let's say in our terms, from 1, it can be done up to at 4. Am I right? If a person makes salah at 3, is the salah correct? Is it out of its time or in its time? It's in its time. So what we mean here is when you can make salah out of its time, completely out of its time. You with me? The first one the Musannif makes mention is an-nawm. When a person, but it's not just so, a blanket rule. No. If a person sleeps, I'll make an exception. If a person sleeps in the time of salah, so it's Dhuhr salah at 1, and he goes to bed and sleeps at 2, and he knows that I'm tired, I won't be able to wake up, and he oversleeps for that salah, that does not fall in this category. Are you with me? And that, when he does that, he will be a sinner. Are you with me? But what type of sleep are we meaning here? Is that he sleeps before the time of salah comes in, and then, for example, he sleeps through the waqt of salah. That type of sleep. Are you with me? But not the type of sleep where he goes sleep in the time of salah, and then he knows that he won't be able to wake up. That is not an excuse to leave out or to make salah out of its time. Is that clear? So remember, not all the type of sleeping. Okay? The ulama makes mention that if he sleeps in the time of salah, and he knows that he won't be able to make a salah, then he will be sinning. The second one is an-nisyan. He forgets. What do they say here? Forgetfulness. He forget. For example, he's busy working. Now, he was so engrossed, so much work, that he forgot about salah. Then, it will be overlooked. Okay? It will be overlooked. However, if he is engrossed in something that does not bring him benefit, like playing soccer, and playing chess, or playing dominoes, are you with me? And he forgets to make salah, then that's not an excuse. He will be sinful. Okay? So the type of forgetfulness that we are talking about is that he is genuinely busy with something, work or etc. Okay? And then the Musannif or the author did not mention two things. He did not mention this. There's actually four. He did not mention the third one, which is jam ta'khir. Jam ta'khir, where he makes jam salah and he delays his dhuhr salah in the time of asr. In this case, it is permissible for him to delay his salah out of its time because he's going to make dhuhr salah in the asr time. Okay? That's the third one. So but there's conditions. One condition is you need to make intention in the time of dhuhr salah that I am delaying my dhuhr salah out of its waqt and I'm delaying it in the waqt of asr. There must be intention. Okay? That's the third one. The fourth one is when he is al-iqrah, when he's forced to not make salah in its time. Okay? Example, someone stands with a gun in front of him. You're not going to make salah. Are you with me? And in this case, it is permissible for him to delay his salah out of its time and he will not be sinful. Okay? So for example, someone stands by him and put a gun by his head. But what the ulama say, if that's the case, then you make salah in your heart. Are you with me? You make salah in your qalb. Yeah. You use your qalb, your mind to make salah. Allah Akbar. In your mind. Then you indicate if you're going down. That's how you will make salah. Okay? Okay? So if a person forces you with a gun and you don't make salah, inshallah, you must make salah over afterwards, yes. Okay, so these are the 4 things. So the Musannif makes mention of 2 things, which is forgetfulness and sleep. And the third one is where you delay your Dhuhr Salah till Asr, or you delay your Maghrib Salah till Isha. Okay? We know we can make Jam Salah, am I right? Can we join Fajr with any waqt? No. Okay. So it's only, you can only join Dhuhr and Asr. You can either bring Asr to the front, or you can bring Dhuhr to the back. And you can either join between Maghrib and Isha. You can either bring Maghrib to the back or Isha to the front. It's up to you. Okay, inshallah. So in this case, it's permissible for you to delay. And then the last one is al-ikrah, when someone is forced, when you put the gun by your head. And obviously, the best time to make salah, the Musannif says, it is fi awwali waqtiha, when the time enters of salah. When the time enters of salah, then it's the best time for you to make salah. Okay. Now we go to and also, yes, they bring some masail here. When a person have qada salah, what salah must he make first? For example, I overslept for Dhuhr, Asr and Maghrib. And I only woke up for Isha. What salah do I make first? So here's some masail attached to that. If it is that, let's say for example, Isha, it's 9. Isha is 9. And I woke up at 10. What is best for me to make? Must I make the salah that's currently in, or must I first make this other salah? Say again? According to the Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, you must first make Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and then Isha. The condition is that the time of Isha should not expire or go out. If the time of, for example, Maghrib, let's say Maghrib is at 8, and Isha stops at 9. Let's just make an example. Now I am by 10 to 9 or 5 to 9. Right. Do I make Dhuhr, Asr? I know I make Maghrib first. I don't want that salah to also be qada, expired. So, but if there is enough time, you make first tartib, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and then Isha. Okay? Is it clear? Barakallahu feekum. And now we go to, is there any other questions with regards to that? So we say we first make Dhuhr. So we look at the time. If there's enough time for us to get our salah adaan in its correct time, then we can make that sequence. But if there's not enough time, then we first make the salah which needs to be done. Remember that if I, for example, have to pass away at 2 and I did not make Dhuhr salah, will I be questioned for that salah? The waqt was not out yet. The waqt is not expired. Are you with me? The waqt is still there. The waqt is still there. You know? So I can make it maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but unfortunately, I can't 2 o'clock. Okay, then we start with, is there any other questions with regards to this? There's none? There's no? So, our brothers say they've read something where there is no such thing as qada salah. I can't recall anyone have an opinion like that, but I'll double check inshallah. But according to all, it's always qada salah. You know, there's so many hadith. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when you wake up and you remember that you must salah, what must you do? فَلْيُصَلِّهَا. Then you make your salah. So this indicates that there is something like making up salah. Inshallah. Barakallahu feekum. And then we start with a new chapter which is called شُرُوطُ الصَّلَاةِ ثَمَانِيَةٌ. The conditions of the salah are 8. The conditions of the salah are 8. So before we start, what conditions is this? This conditions is conditions to make salah valid. Okay? Remember I said the 2 types of conditions. Conditions that make salah compulsory and conditions that make salah valid. So this one is, which makes salah valid. I don't think that the Musannif, author of this book, makes mention of the condition that makes salah compulsory, but at the end of this, inshallah, I will definitely mention it, inshallah. First one, Taharatul Hadathaini. So how many are there? How many conditions of salah, for salah to be valid? 8. So all these 8 must be done in salah or before salah? Before, because it is prerequisites. It's conditions that's done before salah. So the first one is taharatul hadathaini. A person needs to be in a clean state and it should be free from both hadath. When we say hadathaini, we mean hadathul akbar and hadathul asghar. Hadathul akbar and hadathul asghar. Anyone can tell me what is hadathul akbar? The major one, which you need what? Ghusl. And hadathul asghar is minor, which you are in need of wudu. So basically, you need to have wudu and you need to have ghusl. That's what the person means, what the musannif means. You need to be in a clean state of wudu and a clean state of ghusl. Where do we get this from? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, idha kuntum ila salati, idha kumtum, when you stand up or when you intend to make salah, فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق وامسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين. Okay, the ayat is clear. And then we said if there's no water, we use tayammum. We can still get ourselves in a clean state by using tayammum. Just a question, quick question. We said the objective of tahara is how many? The second lesson I remember. The objective of tahara are how many? Anyone? 4. Am I right? And then we said the wasail, the means of us getting to the 4 objectives are how many? 4. The first lesson. And whatever we've learned prior to this lesson of salah was basically 4-4. How do we get in a state of tahara? Via what? Water, hajar, what's the izalatul najasa, and then we said ad-dibar, tanning. Are you with me? So if a person does not have no water, or he does not have clean soil, what must he do now? وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدِ الْمَاءَ وَلَا التُّرَابَ. If a person does not find water, nor sand or soil, he will perform salah. His condition is known as فَاقِدُ الطَّهُورَيْن. What we call him? فَاقِدُ الطَّهُورَيْن, a person who does not have any of the two. So he will make salah. Why? Because of respecting the time of salah, but he will have to repeat that salah. Number 2, and I'll try to run through this, we don't have much time. وَالطَّهَارَةُ عَنِ النَّجَاسَةِ فِي الثَّوْبِ وَالْبَدْنِ وَالْمَكَانِ. Purity of clothing, the body, and the place of performing salah. So the clothes must be clean, the body must be clean, and the place must be clean. So when we're talking about the place must be clean, we're talking about the place where your body touches when you make sujood and when you make salah. Are you with me? So for example, I'm just making an example. In the house, it's dirty. There's some najasa there. But there's a clean place, so you can throw your musalla. There's a clean small piece where you make salah. Will your salah be correct if you make salah in a clean place? Yes. So what is considered here? The places that your body touches when you make salah. Are you with me? Where you stand, where you put your body. Okay? So all these places must be clean. Number 3 is satrul awrah, covering the awrah. So the awrah must be covered. When we say the awrah must be covered, we mean that the skin of that awrah must be covered. The skin of that awrah must be covered. Okay, the skin must be covered. And what's the awrah of a male? The awrah of a male is ma bayna surrati wa rukbah. Is this in salah and outside salah? For both. And what's the awrah of a female in salah? Everything besides her face and her hands. Is this in salah and outside salah? Nope. Our hands must also be covered, inshallah, if you can, out of salah. Face must be covered out of salah. Okay. That's the awrah. Yeah, face and hands. For the males, especially when there's fear of fitna, and she must cover her face. Yes, I say. Yeah, I'm not saying that our face must be covered, but when there's a fitna, then it's even more. It must be covered. You understand? But jami'u badaniha, everything must be covered. Especially hands also. Understand? It's a awrah. It's a complete aura. Yeah. Okay. What we're going to do is, on page 38, inshallah, if we come there, we discuss it in detail. Okay? Because it comes there, وَعَوْرَةُ الْحَمْ وَعِنْدَ مَحَارِبَ وَالنِّسَاء. Okay? The aura comes here in detail at page 38, inshallah. Okay? So covering the aura, it is necessary to condition that the clothing prevents the color of the skin from being exposed and covers the aura from all sides, including above. It is not necessary to cover the aura from below. A thin garment through which the color of skin is visible is not sufficient. So if it's a thin garment where you can see the color of the aura, then that's not sufficient. But the color must be covered. The skin must be covered. Okay? So for example, so how do we determine the aura? The aura will be if a person look from the side and from on top. Are you with me? But if a person look from asphalt, from beneath, and he sees something, like for example, if he makes salah there, and I look up, and I see that won't be considered to be aura in salah. Are you with me? Okay? So how do we consider aura? It must be looked from, like I'm looking from this side and from on top. At the moment I look from there and I see, then that's not we don't have to consider that. Okay, inshallah? Then facing the Qibla. Facing the Qibla is a compulsory. It's a shurut, it's a shart, it's a precondition, it must be done. Are you with me? So what do we mean by facing the Qibla? We mean by facing the Qibla, my chest. Are you with me? Huh? So my chest have to always face the Qibla. For example, if a person look like this around, is he facing the Qibla? Yes. Is his salah correct? If I make like this, if I look like this, and I'm making, I look at it, brother. Now I had a person in the previous masjid, so he used to make like this in salah. It's an old person, he used to look around. Is his salah correct? When he stands and he looks around with his salah is correct. It's makruh to look around. It's makruh. But his salah is correct. As long as his chest is facing the Qibla, then it's correct. Are you with me? By the moment the chest moves away, a person comes to spin you around. Then your salah is something else. In two conditions, you don't have to face the Qibla. In two, the first one is when you're fighting in the battle, then you don't have to face the Qibla. And it comes in the Quran, right? And inshallah, if we have time in the future, inshallah, we will show how do we make salah in the battlefield. Okay? In the battlefield, the first saf will make salah, the first rak'ah, and the saf behind will stand and just look at the enemy. And when the first saf is done with their salah, and then they stand and they look at the enemy and the second saf makes salah. Are you with me? That's also one way of making salah. But when you're facing the enemy and they're coming to you. So you can pick up your salah facing the Qibla. But it's not necessary. In the battlefield, it's not necessary. But your salah must be done. That's the first one. The second one is when you're on a journey and it is nafil salah. Remember two conditions. When you're on a journey and it is nafil salah. Are you with me? Then you don't have to face the Qibla. But you can start at least with facing the Qibla. Okay? So for example, I'm on a journey and I want to make sunnah salah. Then you don't have to face the Qibla. Okay? So these are the two places where you don't have to face the Qibla. Number 5, the commencement of the time of salah. The time of salah must be in. You cannot make salah before each time. The time of salah must be in. And that's why we have these calendars and we have the mu'adhin and all this stuff. Alhamdulillah. So is the mu'adhin sufficient for us to know the time of salah? Is it sufficient? Or must we go check the time is salah really in? Sometimes maak jy mu'adhin verkeerde tyd adhan ook. Jy weet me. So we cannot just make salah. We have to ensure that salah time is in. You with me? Not like, I think last year. Isha Salah. Many masajid in Cape Town, they made Isha Salah, and Isha Salah was not in yet. But on the calendar it shows that Isha Salah is in. And what happened is the redness in the horizon was still there. And we say Isha Salah comes in what time? When the redness in the horizon disappears and it's gone. By that time it was still an hour and something. And they made adhan and they made salah and it was still there. You with me? So we have to ensure that the salah is in. The time of salah is in. Okay? I'll just run through this inshallah. And then the knowledge of it being fard. That the salah that you're making, you need to know that salah is fard. Okay? And then not regard any of its fard acts as sunnah. You cannot say that, we know there's 70 fard salah, am I right? In salah. You cannot say that, no, this is sunnah. No? You must regard the fard of salah to be fard and the sunnah to be sunnah. However, if a person said, okay, everything is fard, then it's okay. Are you with me? But if you say only, if you reduce the fard, then it's a problem. So that's why it's important for us to know the difference between fard in your salah and sunnah in your salah. And then we have the last one to abstain from those factors that nullifies the salah. To stay away from things that breaks the salah. Like what? Eating in salah. Smoking, obviously, no one was smoking. Smoking in salah, no one was smoking. Smoking in salah. What still? Farting. Anything that breaks the salah. Okay? Say again? In actual fact, when your phone rings, it's mustahab. It is encouraged to put your phone off. Are you with me? Sometimes people's phone ring and they let it ring. No, it is encouraged to put your phone off. Where do we get this from? It's mustahab. Because what happens is, the ringtone, it disturbs people in salah, am I right? And whenever there's disturbance in salah, we consider this to be a makruh of salah, something disliked. And our ulama say to remove something which is disliked in salah out of salah, it is something which is encouraged in Sharia. And the hadith for this is, Nabi Muhammad made salah once, and one youngster came on his left side. What did he do? He took him by his ears and he moved him to his right side. Are you with me? So he moved the makruh to its right place. Khair inshallah. Allah give us tawfiq inshallah. وبه نكتفي inshallah. Any questions before we have the adhan? The salah is valid. If you sit in the train, that's why we say, this is a different condition. This is a different case. So you start your salah. Are you with me? But to face the qibla, it is an important condition. Are you with me? That you need to face. There are only two places where you don't have to face the qibla, and I make mention in jihad, and I make mention in a journey, and it is nafil salah, not farad salah. You have to face the qibla. The farad, no, you have to face. So, yes. You have to. You have to repeat the salah. If you don't know, but you start with the qibla, and you assume that it is the qibla until the end, and you have knowledge that this is the qibla. Whatever the driver does in front of you, are you with me? The same with on a when you're on a ship, are you with me? It will be the same. Are you with me? So, the ulama makes mention of these things. The salah is, you need to repeat the salah. There's only two places, it's clear. Let me be clear. There's only two places when you don't face the Qibla. All the other places you have to face the Qibla. What are the two places? Jihad. And the second one is in a journey when it is nafil salah, not fard salah. بهنكتفي إن شاء الله. Okay? So if you travel, stop your train inshallah. Inshallah. Barakallahu feekum. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك سبحان ربك رب العزه عما يصفون والسلام عليكم